Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you to everybody that's been listening to us tonight and over the time frames that we've been doing our show. Of course, we're in the period where we're celebrating 6 years of Internet radio on this show, and so I'm definitely excited and happy about that. And one of the people who has been with us throughout the entire 6 years that we've been on radio and beyond for me on a personal level is my oldest friend, my brother K-Dub is on the line with us. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on, family? I'm blessed and highly favored. Glad to be in the building.
I'm glad to have you, man. It's always good to hear your voice on the show. And one of the things that you and I have been trying to do for a long time is figure out a way where we can actually work together and we can do some things to try to earn some coin. Use the word coin to try to, make our situations and our lives a little bit better. You remember those conversations we've been having since we've been grown, man?
Man, listen, do I remember them? We still have them on almost a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, man.
Yes, we have. And one of those things that we've talked about how we can get some more coin is how we can get some more crypto coin or cryptocurrency, as some folks are calling it, or as is known as. And one of the most knowledgeable people to talk about cryptocurrency is also on the live line with us. He's also one of my brother's partners and friends. This brother is very knowledgeable. He's a mentor to me. I call him one of my big brothers. This is David Wren, also known as Dave in L.A. What it do, homie?
What up there, Big Marcus, J.K. Dub? How y'all feeling?
We doing outstanding. I'm good. Man, Dave, we've been talking for a long time now. I owe you a little bit of an apology. I'm going to start off that way publicly because for as long as we've been brothers and talking, you've been talking to me about, coins and coins and coins. And I've just not been one that was able to conceptualize what it was and never really jumped on to what you were saying until now. And so I want to kind of talk a little bit about this cryptocurrency craze that's going on. There's one that's on my mind in particular. It's called Bitcoin. And a lot of people are going just crazy about Bitcoin. Why don't you tell everybody what Bitcoin is and how some folks can be a part of the Bitcoin craze?
Yeah, Bitcoin, it's the grandfather of the known as the cryptocurrencies. There's tokens, there are coins. Bitcoin is actually one of the coins that you can actually mine and actually hold a private key for. Tokens are something that, let's say you have a company, let's say a new computer company, and they're going to come out with their own private business token for what they're going to be using in the smart contracts or in the crypto space. They would devise a token that would be something like a share in a stock for a company. So you have tokens and you have coins, and Bitcoin is the keystone and the elder statesman of the cryptocurrency space. But for it being in the cryptocurrency space, it's relatively new. It's not even 10 years old, but Bitcoin has actually been around since the 1700s. It's, it was a form of currency known as bits that people would pay for a medium of exchange for purchasing goods and everything else. So it's not anything new, nor is cryptocurrency or digital currency. It's not new at all. It's just come about in a different, I like to say, it's been revolutionized. Because you think about it, your bank account is a digital bank account. That means that you've been engaging in digital currency since you opened up your first bank account. Your credit card is digitalized. So you've been engaged in crypto digital currency since you've had a credit card. So it's not anything new. It's just something that has been brought into a revolutionized space where people can engage in it in a more direct way. So that's really what the cryptocurrency space is. You'll hear a lot of people say that it's decentralized and everything else. I know that sounds good, but that's not really, what the cryptocurrency is. It's not decentralized at all. You think about it, and I'm not trying to spoil anybody's, thunder, but that's just the overall propaganda that's behind it. That's the talking points. That's the narrative that the system really wants you to follow. The reason why it's not decentralized, and here's why it's not decentralized, but it's still very, very valuable, and we should be leveraging it to our advantage. Here's why it's not decentralized. They say it is decentralized. I understand that that's the overall, they're reading the cue cards. But the truth of the matter is not decentralized because it's on what? The Internet. Is the Internet decentralized? Absolutely not. How can cryptocurrency can't actually function without the Internet space in itself? So you may think that is decentralized, but in actuality, the truth of the matter is that is not. And that's very, very important when we talk about leveraging ourselves within the cryptocurrency space. So
well, here's what I want to do. I want to simplify it for those folks who literally right now listening to Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J. They're going, what are they talking about? You know what I mean? Because I found that since I've been researching it, which has been a few weeks for me, and I've already started investing in it. And what I will tell you as listeners, not only have I already started investing in it, but I've also have seen some positive gains from it, which has caused me to look a little bit further, which is the reason why I'm bringing Dave in, because I know that he's knowledgeable about it. But Dave, here's what I want to do. I want to kind of break it down in simple terms for some folks. So I got a couple of, and K-Dub, I'm guessing, he's here, so he has got a couple of quick hit questions. First question that I've had folks say is, well, it's not backed by anything. Why would I want to invest in something that's not backed by anything that's so volatile? Because if you look at the last year it's just exploded. And how can we trust something that's exploding so quickly? How would you address someone who had the concern, it's not backed by anything, and this bubble has to burst at some point?
Well, I would say, first of all, one of the things about anything that you're going to invest in, you need to really research it as much as you possibly can, so that you can kind of see the ebb and flow of things, so that you can make a more informed decision that best suits you as an individual. Now, when people say that is not backed by anything, I understand what they're saying, but that's not actually the case. It is backed by something. It's backed by some of the same things that created value for the U.S. dollar. It's backed by confidence. And because it has the confidence, there are people that are confident in it, that ascends a level of marketability in it and a market value to it that can't be denied. Because there are many people that prefer to deal with Bitcoin than cash, and because of that, it has gone from when it was introduced at just 7 cents to over $10,000 for one Bitcoin right now. So that it is able to garnish that $10,000 space because of confidence. People have confidence in it that they can use it to buy as a medium of exchange. They can use it as a measure of storing value, which should be held with an asterisk. But because of that, and there's actually countries that are developing further cryptocurrencies, and they're developing their own crypto space. That's all confidence, and it's gaining momentum that that really will not be stopped. The reason why it won't be stopped, because the overall financial system actually it requires that Bitcoin to succeed, because Bitcoin is really the introduction to the cashless society.
Right. That was the next question that I was going. That was the next question that I was going to ask you, because I know that there are others, most prominently Ethereum and Litecoin. Now, Bitcoin, of course, being, I guess you said, the granddaddy. And for those folks that are listening, you can download the app on your cell phone smartphone, iPhone, as well as on your computer, is called Coinbase. Coinbase, Coinbase, one word, Coinbase, and you can actually look at the history of, over the last year, by the way, of what Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin has done with regards to their growth over the last year. Coming back to what you were saying, you were talking about how other countries are mining others. So basically what you're saying is not only just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, but there are other cryptocurrencies that are coming along behind those big three, basically, is what I'm calling it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. And because what happens is that they're going to be utilized different, because Bitcoin, it was created, not 10 years ago, but you think about it, in the tech space 10 years ago, 9 years ago, think about how many people are walking around with a phone that's 9 years old.
Right.
Very few. So
right.
Bitcoin isn't able to do, it doesn't have the same utility that some of the other coins have that are coming out and tokens that are coming out now. So the whole cryptocurrency space is only going to continue to evolve. And so that's why the value and the necessity of it, the economy is actually facilitating its own success. And that, to me, is something that we really have to take a look at so we can leverage ourselves accordingly to that.
Now,
Dave,
a person who... go ahead, Dub. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I was going to ask you, Dave, for most people listening right now, would you be able to explain how an individual would be able to, let's say, turn that Bitcoin or whatever coin that they may have into actual money? Like, how would they go about actually using those particular coins in the day-to-day life?
Yes. It's basically the same thing that you could do with, let's say, a stock, because most people are familiar with the stock market. You buy a stock, then you can sell a stock. You sell a stock on what? The exchange. And so there are different cryptocurrency exchanges that you can sell the Bitcoin or any of the other cryptocurrencies. Not all of them, because some of them have a certain ones that they prefer to use, and there's reasons behind that. So let's say you go to there's exchanges. I'm not promoting any different exchange, but you can go to Exchange A. And what they'll do is, let's say you have Bitcoin. You open up an account. You send your Bitcoin to that address in that wallet. And a wallet is just a digital wallet, just like a wallet or a purse where you store your cash or your currency. It's the same thing, but it's done digitally. You send it to that exchange, and then you sell it. You put in a sell order. You actually sell it for what? For cash. Then you sell it for cash, and then you tell that exchange to deposit that cash into your bank account. And then that's one way that you can make that medium of it, where you can sell that coin, such as Bitcoin. Use Bitcoin. You can sell a Bitcoin for cash.
How long does that take?
It could take anywhere between for you to sell it within seconds. It takes seconds to sell it.
Okay.
But if you want to sell it at a particular price, it may take a while for it to reach that price. But you can sell it immediately for market value. And let's say the market value for Bitcoin is at $10,000 right now. You have one Bitcoin. You can go onto an exchange and sell it for $10,000 immediately. Or you can say, hey, I want to sell it for $10,100. Now you got to wait for it to go to that, and then it will sell it for you at that price.
Now, what if you decided that you didn't want to sell your whole Bitcoin? You only, let's say, for example, let's say you were that guy who bought a Bitcoin when it was $2,000, and now it's $10,000, and you don't want the whole 10, maybe you only want 5. Can you do that?
Yes, you can. And that's one of the things that the whole cryptocurrency space is one of the values that it has. One of the things that it offers is that you could break it down into very, very small pieces, in Bitcoin known as Satoshis, to where you could break it down to grains of sizes. 0.0001 has a a dollar value to it. 0.000002 has a dollar value to it. So, yes, you could break it down into very small pieces.
Right. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We're talking to our brothers K-Dub and David Wren, Dave in L.A. We're talking about cryptocurrency, more specifically Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. We're talking about the exchanges, and we're talking about how we can go about obtaining these coins. Now, Dave, the next thing that I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about is the fact that you have a lot of folks who are looking to these coins and trying to create generational wealth. Particularly at this time, we're moving towards the end of 2017. We're watching the value of these coins begin to increase more and more and more, which some folks feel like you're towards the end of the boom. Other folks think that you're at the beginning of the boom. We know it was less than 1,000 this time last year, and it's almost 10,000, or it's over 10,000 now. What's your thoughts on how a person could create generational wealth if they invest small portions of their money in this cryptocurrency currently?
Yeah, I definitely think that you could do that. It depends on the platform that you're using for that. And I think that, we'll get into some of those, in the future. But, yes, you definitely can do it. And I would say, I got into Bitcoin, actually. I was introduced to it in 2010. And at that time, there was a friend of mine that was mining it. And he introduced me to it, and his overall electricity bill for the mining was more valuable than the Bitcoins that he was acquiring. But see, the thing was that he was actually positioning himself by value, because even though his energy bill was high, he was able to accumulate hundreds of Bitcoin when Bitcoin had no real phenomenal cash value that it has right now. So what happened to all of his Bitcoin? Well, that transferred into one right now. Just one is, last I checked, was $10,000. He went from a couple of years ago from investing at the right time in the right vehicle, making a small investment and taking a so-called loss on it, to where he's now a multi-millionaire and in the billionaire range now, because of what he was doing back in 2010 and 2009.
Right.
So
right. Now,
it definitely can be done.
A layperson is probably wondering, what do you mean when you say mining? Is that something that you could do yourself? Like, what does mining mean? What does that mean?
Well, actually, mining, what happens is that there's computers, and they have game cards that actually go into the actual blockchain, and they solve the overall codes, and it's real technical. They solve codes, and when they solve codes within the blockchain rewards them with Bitcoin or whatever their design, whatever they're solving. So mining, in my opinion, is actually not the way to go anymore, because Bitcoin is at $10,000 for one. And when you mine, you're getting such small amounts, when in today's world, because of its overall dollar value, you should be trading it, and you should be acquiring it by different means that allow you to actually accumulate more than what a miner will yield you.
Okay, now let me ask you this, and we're moving towards a close here. Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. We're talking to K-Dub and David Wren, Dave in L.A., about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and others. Now, a person like us who may not have the kind of resources to purchase a $10,000 Bitcoin or $470 or $500 Ethereum or $100+ Litecoin and others that still want to invest, there are companies out there that are allowing you to do that. Companies like USI, companies like Coins of Change, and others. Tell us about those that you know of and how they can go, or folks who are listening can be a part of this discussion and part of this investment.
Yeah, definitely. There's opportunity. There's different platforms. There's trading platforms where, USI is one. And there's requirements for all of those. You can look those up. There's Trade Coin Club. There's another one, and then there's Coins of Change, which one that I'm particularly, I'm in Coins of Change, so I have to say that I'm in USI, I'm in Trade Coin Club. But the one that I prefer is Coins of Change because it only requires that you make a minimum cash investment in Bitcoin one time, or if you want to upgrade it to its top performance, you got to put in 1/10 of a Bitcoin only one time. And your ability, because of the crowdfunding platform, you're going to be paid in Bitcoin. You're going to be able to acquire Bitcoin, and this is the best way to put it, below market value, but redeem it for full market price, meaning you're going to be acquiring Bitcoin way below its price. But you'll be able to, the ones that you acquire, you'll be able to redeem it for full market value. So, Case in point, if you get one Bitcoin in Coins of Change, you will not have spent anywhere near $10,000 for that one Bitcoin, but you'll be able to sell it on an exchange for cash of $10,000. That platform is the best platform to me that's going. And we'll have to talk about that at a further time too, Marcus J.
At a later time. No, I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you brought that up, and I'm glad you said that. For those folks that are listening right now, what I will tell you is that we're in the process of launching Legacy Media Group Investments. Legacy Media Group Investments will assist those folks who are listening right now who want to be a part of the investment of cryptocurrency, more specifically Bitcoin. K-Dub, Marcus J, and Dave in LA are all a part of USI. Marcus J and Dave in LA are both part of Coins of Change. K-Dub is coming along here soon. And so you're not dealing with novices here and folks who are just coming on the radio and talking. We're about it. And one of the things that I found, Dave and Dub, is that a lot of times our people are so skeptical and afraid that they don't take a chance. You're basically talking about both of those platforms, Coins of Change as well as USI, which I'm a part of both, are looking for $60 investments that will absolutely make you money. And, I've used the phrase, we're going to trick that off at the club. We're going to trick that off buying drinks right. The chick you're trying to holler at. You're going to trick that off at the strip club. You're going to trick that off at the mall. $60, $60 is going to turn into some money for you. So if you have questions about how to be a part of either of these organizations, Coins of Change or USI, definitely inbox me if you know me personally, Marcus Johnson on Facebook, legacyinternetradio@gmail.com, and this is how you do it. I'm not telling you anything that I have not researched. Research your own. Do what you got to do. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm just trying to help you change your circumstance, which is the reason why I've got Dave on here to talk about it. We'll have other folks come in and talk about it as well. Do your own research because this thing is about to blow up in 2018. In closing, Dub, any final words before we kind of end this segment?
No, I just want to say thanks to Dave and yourself, Marcus J, for, involving myself in this. I think it's something that can definitely be a game changer in our own personal financial evaluation as well as for our families. And, again, I would say such as Marcus J has told myself before, do your research. Look into everything. You want to make sure that, you're familiar with everything that's going to be going on. And I would say also, once you've made that decision, continue to research because, you may bump up on something that may be advantageous to yourself and your family, and we can, grow it as a tree. So I just want to say thanks for allowing me to get in on a conversation, and let's make it happen. This is the best time to do it. So let's do it.
You got it, Dave. Anything in closing?
K-Dub said it all. There's exactly what I would just say, just to add to this. everyone, I would suggest you go to coinmarketcap.com. There you'll find all of the coins and the all of the cryptocurrencies in coins and in token form. That is where you definitely want to start to familiarize yourself, and then that way you can track the overall progression of the different coins and tokens and find the businesses and the smart contracts that are being put together in the cryptocurrency space. It is really the market of the future. So, and one more thing, coinmarketcap.com. One more thing. Right now, this is a very, very important thing. Bitcoin at being at $10,000 in less than 10 years, that really means that it is more valuable right now, market volume-wise, than the stock market and the NASDAQ combined.
Wow.
And they've been around here a whole lot longer.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
When you really look at it, that's...
I'm sorry, Dave. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's what I said, combined. So that was what I just wanted to express.
Here's what I'll say as I close out the segment. A lot of times we are afraid. We're afraid to take a chance. We're afraid to change our circumstances. It's an opportunity where you can change your whole trajectory of your family and the future of your family. And I would suggest that you do your research. Don't allow fear to keep you from being a part of an investment that can change your life. If you, after having done your research, have made a decision to not be involved, nobody on this call or anybody that's involved is going to twist your arm and throw shade at you or feel some kind of way. This is about what you want to do. And once you've done your homework and you've made your decision, you're either going to be on board or you're not. And I just think that it's an opportunity for us to do something together. We can crowdfund together and we can build together, because too often we talk about how we want to do something, and then when we have an opportunity to do something, we do nothing. And so I'll just leave us with that. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you to K-Dub. Thank you from Dave in L.A. We're going to take a break. We come back. We got more of the show. You're listening to the flagship show, Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Be back in a few. Y'all stay.